Well, old Ron DeSanctimonious has dropped out of the race, and he immediately goes back and tries to kiss the ass of Donald Trump that quick. After running one of the most disastrous and humiliating campaigns that we've ever seen, you would think that he would just want to take a breather first. You would think he would want to rest and let us forget about it just a little bit before he immediately comes out and says that he will back Donald Trump, but nope, he just went for it. He runs a disastrous campaign and it has a disastrous ending. You would think he would just want to go home and rest for a minute, take off his high heel boots, put his feet up, but nope. He's ready to just get right back behind Donald Trump. Now, I know what a lot of you are going to say. You're going to say, well, Brando, they all do that. Both sides do that. They go out there, they play politics, they run each other's name in the dirt, and then they all get back together in the end and, put their differences aside and move forward. But the thing about this is Donald Trump always gets really personal. I mean, he ruthlessly mocked Ron DeSantis. He will mock him. He will mock his wife. He'll mock his family. There is no lines that Donald Trump will not cross. He'll go for it. And then to see these people take such abuse from him and then run back to him, it's so humiliating to even watch. I can't imagine what it would be like to be on their end, but it's a humiliating thing to watch. But he says, half the country wants Trump to be president. Okay, well, why'd you run to start with? I'll tell you why he ran to start with. He thought that he could go out there and that he could capitalize on Trump's crowd. He thought that he could win some of them over. And we thought that too before the ball got rolling. I remember saying, don't rule Ron DeSantis out just yet. And boy, that came back to bite me in the ass in no time flat. Because I was like, well, yeah, forget about what I said. You can rule this guy out. He thought that he could go out there and capitalize on Trump's crowd, but here's the thing. You can't capitalize on Trump's crowd because their loyalty is strictly to Donald Trump. They do not have loyalty to the Republican Party. They do not have loyalty to America. They don't have loyalty to democracy. They don't have loyalty to anything. It's all to Donald Trump. And they're so invested in his story that they cannot let go of it, and they cannot see all the things that we try to point out to them on a daily basis. Now, I've said for a long time, they got caught up in reality shows, and they think that that's how that government can be ran. They do the same thing with all forms of entertainment. I mean, we all have got invested in stories before, and we rooted for the bad guys. How many shows was made in the last 20 years where the bad guy was pretty much your hero in the story? He was the one that everybody was pulling for. You had Walter White on Breaking Bad. Yeah, he was a terrible person. He did terrible things, but we all caught ourselves pulling for him, and we got so invested in the story that by the end of it, we was like, well, dang, I wish he would have made it. That's how these people are. They're invested in Trump's story so much, and they want to see him win so bad that they have lost all connection with reality. And there's absolutely nothing you can say that's ever going to pull them back. They're waiting for that big finale where they have this big victory and they own the libs. It's no different than when you sit back and you watch Sons of Anarchy and you hope that Jax made it out. Or you watched Justified and you hope Boyd Crowder made it out of Harlan alive. That's pretty much what they're doing. They're sitting there, they're invested in this story, they're invested in this person. They can't turn back now. They're so far gone in this that to turn back, they would look ridiculous. The only ones that can do it is people like Ron DeSantis, and that's because he's got the money to do it. And he can go out there and he can get his name out there in the news. He can make a complete fool of himself. He can come back around. He can kiss Trump's ass. He has no shame. The guy has no shame. He can do that all day, and they all will do it. I just thought that he would wait a few minutes before he did it. I knew Vivek Ramaswamy would immediately kiss Trump's ass because he did it the entire time. But Trump mocked DeSantis, dragged him through the mud, just humiliated him. And DeSantis was an easy target for both sides because he was just such a disaster. And then to end it with going, yeah, I'm out and I'm right back behind the guy that made fun of me. It's just, there's no way in the world that I would ever support a candidate like that. I could never take him serious again. Nothing he says in the future, if he tries to have a future run, there's nothing Ron DeSantis could ever say that would make me take him serious ever again.